Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah if you're new. I make a bunch of lifestyle, wedding, vlogs, related content. So if you're interested in any of that, make sure you're subscribed and stick around. But today we are going over my whole wedding planning process, my inspo, my vibe I'm trying to go for with my wedding. So if you're interested in any of that, make sure you keep on watching. But I know I'm not going to be able to cover everything that you guys may want to know. So if there's anything that you have questions on, make sure you leave them down below and I will make a whole wedding Q&A for you guys. Sit down and chat again. For now, I'm just going to go through pretty much what I'm going for my wedding and we will just jump right on into it. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was just like the overall vibe I'm going for. So I really wanted like an elegant vintage type of theme for my wedding, so I didn't really want much of any color. I'm going for all black, white, and then my bridesmaids are wearing champagne colored dresses, which is just very like simple and chic and elegant. I didn't want anything like too overpowering and like in your face. I want everything to be very timeless and beautiful. So that was my inspo. The venue I picked is an so old of a barn. I will insert pictures whenever I can. If I think you guys need some visualization, I will definitely insert pictures for you guys. So my venue has two separate barns. One of them is going to hold cocktail hour. It's this beautiful old stone barn and it is absolutely gorgeous. I absolutely love this barn. It is exactly what I was looking for by like a vintage feeling barn. And then the other barn is going to hold our reception, and that one is an old, beautiful wooden barn, and it's just so beautiful. So I knew that the barns are gonna pull a little bit more rustic, so I don't want any of my decor to pull rustic at all. So that is something I am working really hard to not really pull too much more rustic into the barn, because I know the venue itself is going to be a little bit more rustic. When I was looking at venues, something I was having to consider was if I wanted it in some sort of a banquet hall or building like that, hotel or anything of the sorts, or like a barn or a different sort of venue. And I knew I wanted it to be more of the barn setting. I just feel like those venues are beautiful and unique and gorgeous. I wanted it to be outside. Hopefully we can have our ceremony outside, weather permitting, but that is what we're going for. I am trying to achieve the vintage, elegant, timeless vibe, like I said. So some ways I'm trying to do that is with a lot of gold accents and again, not pulling too much rustic. So with my decor, I'm really not trying to pull anything like wooden or like my venue has like wooden barrels we can use, and I don't want to use any of that kind of stuff because again it's just gonna pull too rustic. So I'm not using really any colors besides the greenery from flowers and obviously like outside champagne, black and white. So that's pretty much it, and I'm also not going too trendy with anything. I really do love like the look of like pampas grass and all that in florals, but I feel like that's something I may look back on and just be like, that was a trendy thing, which was really cool and awesome in the moment, but maybe I wouldn't like it in 20 years from now or whatever it may be. So I'm just trying to stay very neutral, timeless. That is what I'm going for. So I'm going to start with flowers. So what I'm doing for flowers is again all white flowers with greenery. So I'm doing white roses, hydrangeas, baby's breath, and then like eucalyptus for greenery, a bunch of other greenery. We may be doing peonies as well, but obviously just a bunch of white flowers. And for our flowers, our centerpieces are going to be tall centerpieces. So I really love the way that looks, especially in a large barn where the ceiling is very tall. I feel like you need to like bring some height with your flower arrangements. So that is something we're doing. I know it is definitely on the pricier side for flowers doing a tall centerpiece, but one way I am trying to kind of offset that cost is I am also using those flowers to line the aisle for our ceremony. So yes, it may be very expensive, but I figured if I can use the same florals in two different spaces for my wedding and not have to buy them separately, that may work out very well and save me a lot of money. So that is what we're doing. We bought 10 tall centerpieces. I'll insert like a picture of the inspo we're going for, but again, all white flowers with greenery and lining the aisle, and then they're moved to the reception for centerpieces. Since I have been talking about decor, I wanted to kind of stay in that realm and continue. So I also picked up these adorable little tea light glasses. So I'm gonna bring a lot of like lanterns and lights, candles. My venue actually does not allow real candles, like real flame, because it is a barn. It's a very old barn, and I guess it's just a hazard. So I picked up these really cute little LED tea lights off of Amazon, and these little tea light containers. So we're gonna have quite a few of these around the venue, and also a bunch of lanterns and like pillar candles. So I'm gonna bring a lot of like light and that kind of element in with different types of candles, lanterns, all that kind of stuff. My venue actually has stairs leading up to the reception, and I'm gonna line the stairs with candles and all that kind of stuff, lanterns, all that. I feel like it's really gonna make a nice ambiance when you're like entering the venue, and I feel like it's just like really simple, easy thing to do. Okay, so I'm sorry, it just got really dark, so I had to fix the lighting situation, so it may be a little different, but I'm trying to bring a lot of ambiance in with lighting. So we're also getting lights hung in the venue from the like pillars, and we're also gonna get draping done from the pillars in the venue, which is just something that I feel like adds a lot to the space. Anything that draws your eye up is going to add a lot into the venue. Since it is such a tall and large venue, I feel like you need the different elements to bring your eye to different levels of the venue. So that is something we are doing. And then I also picked up these table numbers from Amazon actually, and I love these things. They're beautiful, just a gold cardstock, like gold foil cardstock. They're very thick. I'm gonna just grab some gold picture frames from the Dollar Tree and put them in there. And I am trying to keep my decor as minimal and cheap, honestly, as possible. Weddings are expensive, so anywhere I can kind of pull back a little and just do things on my own or DIY it or just try to find the most cost efficient method is what I'm going to do. So that's just some examples. You may have seen a lot of these wedding aspects in a lot of my vlogs, because as things come in I do mention them a lot, so I'm sorry if this may be repetitive for some of you. But something else I wanted to mention, like I said, I'm trying to cut costs as much as possible, so I'm trying to DIY stuff. So this mirror actually right behind me, this beautiful gold mirror, was my mom's, and I am going to use that as one of our signs in the wedding. So I'm gonna get a marker that you can write on like glass windows with and write our table seating charts on that. And then I actually also picked up these beautiful gold frames from Goodwill, and they were actually like $2 or something each. So they have so much fun detail, and I got, I think, like 5 of them. So what I'm doing with them, I'm gonna pull my computer out to show you guys. I actually saw on Etsy someone that made different signs for weddings, and I saw them and they were gorgeous and I loved them, but I didn't want to spend the money to have just a PDF version of something sent to me just to print out and do it that way. So I saw these signs and I took the inspiration from them, and I actually made the signs on my own. So as you can see, this one is cards and gifts, share the love. We're gonna have people like use our wedding hashtag and like post their wedding pictures and everything that they take, and then a guest book sign. I'm gonna print these and put them in these beautiful gold frames, and they're gonna be kind of scattered all around the venue. But I think this is such an awesome, cheap way to just make your own signs, print them out, and voila, you have a beautiful sign that looks like you paid a decent amount of money for, and it just was made on Canva. It took me like 10 minutes. I can share the font and everything I used if you guys are interested. Again, just let me know whatever you want to see down in the comments. But for those signs, I actually went to Walmart and I bought this paper. It's kind of like a little bit of a yellow toned. It just reminded me of a little bit of an antique type of paper, so I thought that would add just that tiny bit of like effort almost that it needed. This is again a heavy cardstock. I just picked it up at Walmart. It was a few dollars, and I think it's going to add that touch it really needs to make it just a little bit nicer. But I'm very happy with the way my signs turned out. I'm just gonna get those printed and be good with that. Another way that I am bringing the gold are our wedding favors, and I think these are super cool and again really bring in the vintage type of feel that I am going for. And they are these old gold keys, and let's just say they're like beautiful. They look vintage, and I mean, I love these things. I got them off of Amazon. Again, a pack of 75 I think were like 20 or 30 bucks, like very cheap, and they're actually bottle openers, so you can put them on your keychain and just have that to open your bottles. And then they come with these little tags, and we're gonna write something about like opening bottles with it. I think I'm gonna grab a stamp off of Amazon again for those. I bought these little bags that I could just stuff one key and a little tag in and all that kind of stuff, and it'd just be a really cute little favor for our guests. So I really love those. I know I'm kind of all over the place with this video, but wedding planning is just so much. It's honestly kind of overwhelming, crazy, all of that stuff. But moving on, I wanted to mention also that my venue does not include literally anything. So I know a lot of venues you can get your like food included and the cake included and your tableware, as in like your plates, silverware, cups, all that kind of stuff included with your venue. Unfortunately, mine does not do that. So I wanted to mention that we are doing rentals for our tableware, and for all that we are getting gold rimmed plates, gold silverware, again just to tie in with the gold vintage type of feel that I'm going for. Whenever I can bring gold in, I'm trying to do that, and whenever I can take away a little bit of the rusticness of the barn, I'm also going to do that. We also bought this massive picture frame from Goodwill for $5, standard picture frame to be honest, and I'm going to spray paint it gold, and I'm going to go on Etsy and buy a acrylic welcome sign, and that's going to be our welcome sign. I also did want to mention that we are doing an unplugged ceremony. We're asking all of our guests to put away their cameras, phones, all devices during the ceremony. We just really want everyone to be present with us, and for our photographer not to be like interrupted or anything like that. I am paying for a photographer and a videographer, and I want those things that I'm paying for to come out good and not be possibly ruined by people on their phones, taking pictures, all that kind of stuff. So I did want to mention that I'm going to also be making another sign for that to have in the ceremony. I just haven't got to that point yet, so that will come. It will probably be another either mirror or another frame that I find that I could put a sign in. And then for our photographer, I went with a very awesome photographer. Her name is also Sarah, and she is amazing, but her photos are very like bright and vibrant and airy, and I really love that style. So that was something I actually had a very hard time trying to decide on what kind of photography style I wanted, and her pictures are awesome. We had her do our engagement shoot for us, and they turned out great, so I'm very excited to have her do our wedding photos. But her photos are very like vibrant, bright, and everything like that, so that's something definitely to consider before you really even start looking for photographers, like what you want out of your pictures. If it's a more moody type of photographer, or like very bright, like natural, normal, true to life colors, or if it's more of like a washed out type of photography. There's so many different options when you're looking for photographers, and it was very hard for me in the beginning because I really didn't know what I was looking for, but I love my photographer. It's also, I think, very important when you're looking for photographers that you call a bunch, you have chats with them, and you just figure out who you click with, because honestly, I feel like if you have a good connection with your photographer, you're gonna end up getting pictures like 100 times better than with someone that you really don't have a connection with and like don't feel comfortable in front of, and someone that can like really tell you like exactly how to move and do like different poses and like just have fun with. Like our photographer was so much fun. Like we were constantly like cracking up with her. I loved her. So I think that is very important. The next thing I want to mention is how I'm going to do my hair. So I am going to have my hair down and just a little bit maybe brought back with some sort of a braid detail. I can insert inspo pictures again, but I want definitely my hair down because I just feel like I wear my hair down a lot. I love my hair down curled, so that is kind of what we're going for. Makeup is going to be very natural. I don't want to look back on my wedding photos and be like, who is that? Like, I don't look like that normally, and I feel like a lot of people have told me that they feel like that after looking back on wedding photos. So that is something I definitely want to stay away from. Very natural makeup, kind of just a little bit more than like my everyday makeup, to be honest, but definitely nothing crazy. And then the last thing I've written down actually is our cake. So we have not done this yet. This is actually on my to-do list to get a cake. But I know I'm going for something very simple and just white, honestly, some flowers on it, and then I'm gonna get a cake topper from Etsy that probably says like Mr. and Mrs. Christ. Very simple. We are doing a dessert table, so I don't think the cake is something that I really care too much to spend a lot of money on. I feel like the dessert table is gonna be a really big hit, so I really just want something to cut and take pictures of, and I'm not looking to spend like $500 on a cake because, like I said, I'm trying to find ways to cut corners almost and keep it cheap because weddings are a lot of money. I'm sure you guys all know this, but if I can do something a little bit on the cheaper side and it not make much of a difference in my wedding, I'm gonna do that. Like I said with my flowers, I'm using them in 2 places. Our guests will never know, and if they do know, they won't look at that negatively. It'll be like, oh, they're flowers. Like, beautiful flowers in the ceremony, beautiful flowers in the reception. It's not going to be like, oh, she moved her flowers. So I think that is actually a really awesome way to save money. If you want a lot of flowers in your ceremony, I maybe consider talking to your florist and seeing if you can move flowers from ceremony to cocktail hour or cocktail hour to reception, or however you may want to handle that. But I definitely think that is a great way to save money. The bulk of our flowers are from our centerpieces. So we also, when I'm talking about flowers, I just want to go back and mention that we are doing an arbor, and I have one large flower arrangement for our arbor, and that again is the same flowers as our bouquets, our centerpieces, which is hydrangeas, roses, baby's breath, greenery. So for the most part, I really think that is it. I mean, there's mostly just bringing in gold details, keeping it elegant, keeping it timeless, and that is pretty much it. But I know you guys are gonna have a lot of questions because I can't cover everything. There's so much to go over. So please leave your questions down below, and I would love to sit down again and answer the questions that you guys actually have and not just like sit here and chat. But make sure you leave those down below, and I will definitely make another video for you guys. And I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope it helped you a little bit in your wedding planning journey. And I have a ton of wedding planning videos coming for you guys. We have our wedding invites going out soon, and I'm gonna make a video about that for you guys, and they are so cheap and they're gonna look absolutely amazing. So I'm very excited about that video. Make sure you're subscribed and stick around to see that when that comes out. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Bye guys.